Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to the Most High Yah, and to the listening ears of Yah's people. I am Brother Judah Israel, and I have another message, a very interesting message, family. Your isolation is from Yah. Your isolation is from Yah. And I know I'm not the only one who's had thoughts from time past about what is this isolation all about. But I'm going to let you understand what your isolation is all about and who it is from. Your isolation is from Yah, family. This is a very interesting message because I know it's some people out there who are living solitary lives all by themselves, all by themselves. I spend a lot of time by myself, not including social media, but I spend a lot of time by myself in my personal life. Like I just got off work not too long ago, showered, and I'm at home all alone. But I'm never lonely. I'm never lonely. I've always been introverted person myself. I feel, you know, okay and good around crowds of people, lots of people. Like stuff like the Minnesota Fest or amusement parks, stuff like that. I'm okay. I can, you know, conduct myself pretty well, and I'm okay, and I'm comfortable around crowds of people like that. But at the same time, when I'm alone, I'm not lonely, and I don't mind being alone. So I just want everybody to understand, if your life is in Yah and you are a Hebrew, if you're a Hebrew Israelite, and that means that you are part of Yah's elect. You are one of Yah's elect. And I said, you see, if we're Israelites, you can't be an Israelite without being a Hebrew, but you can be a Hebrew without being an Israelite. For the simple reason, our ancestor Abraham, who his wife was Sarah, and so Yah told him that he would bless them with a child of their own, which was Isaac, and he was the child, the seed of the promise. Okay, Isaac's son by Sarah. But Abraham, being the first Hebrew, he also had a son, Ishmael, by the servant girl Hagar. Now, Abraham is a Hebrew, so that means his son Ishmael is also a Hebrew, but he's not an Israelite. Okay? Only the offspring of Abraham and Sarah, those were the offspring, a part of the seed, a part of the promise. Okay? So when Sarah died, I think at 127 years old, Abraham remarried and he had other kids with his other wife. So those other children of his are also Hebrews, but they were not Israelites. Okay? Even his grandson Jacob, who's the one had the 12 sons, whose name Yah changed to Israel. Now, how did that go? Okay, Abraham, Isaac, his son Isaac, and his wife, I believe it was Rebecca, they had twin sons, twin boys, Esau and Jacob. Now, Esau, he was a Hebrew, but he was not an Israelite. And he also had many children. His children are also Hebrews, but they were not Israelites. Jacob, being from the seed of Abraham and Isaac, okay? Now, he was the Israelite, is where the 12 sons came in. His 12 sons by Leah, Rachel, Milcah, and the other handmaiden, servant girl. So he had 12 kids by those four women. And so we, so-called Hebrew Negroes around the world, are the offspring of those 12 sons that Jacob had with his wives. His name was later changed to Israel. So we are Israelites. Okay? I had to get that out there. But this is a very interesting message, family. And before I get started, I always like to say that please keep Yah's 10 commandments. They can be found in Exodus chapter 20, verse 1 through 17. And Messiah says in John 14, verse 15, if you love me, keep my commandments. Okay, I'll be starting out in the 66 in the book of Matthew, chapter 28, verse 20. Matthew 20, verse 20. This is called your isolation, your solitary life is from Yah. Your solitary life is from Yah. Matthew chapter 28, verse 20. Okay. And it says, that's the last chapter in Matthew, chapter 28. And the last verse. Okay. Teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even until the end of the world. So when you're in your isolation, when you're solitary, think on these things. This is what our Messiah says, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even until the end of the world. So our Messiah is saying, you know, he is always with us till the end of the world. So if the enemy try to throw ideas and thoughts in your head and try to tell you your isolation is not from Yah and you're doing something wrong because you're isolated and nobody don't want to be around you, the enemy will try anything that he can to make you feel miserable because your misery makes him feel empowered. So don't listen to anything the enemy tells you that's negative about your solitary life. Men and women of Yah, okay? This is very interesting. And it's not going to leave you in the blind. It's going to tell you, Yah's word is going to tell you exactly what you mean, who you are, what you are to him. You, all of you who are living solitary lives like I am, it is very interesting. So from Matthew 28, I'll be going to Psalms chapter 23, verse 1 to 6. Psalms 23, 1 to 6. And it says here, this is the the Psalm of David, okay? When you're in your isolation, when you're solitary, you know, always think of Yah's word. And here it is right here, the Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd. The Adonai is our shepherd, okay? I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Adonai forever. So in your solitary life, think of these things. Let me just clear my screen of this stuff popping up. Okay, from Psalms 23, I'll be going into the Coptic Gospel of Thomas out of the Lost Scriptures. Just have one scripture in here. And this particular book is called the Coptic Gospel of Thomas. And our Messiah is talking to Thomas, the disciple, and this is what Thomas wrote. He told Thomas to write these things. Okay, that would be the Coptic Gospel of Thomas. There's only one chapter, so verse 49, and it says, Yahusha said, blessed are the solitary and elect, for you will find the kingdom, for you are from it, and to it you will return. So all of us who are living solitary lives, this is what it means to Yah. And this is what the Messiah is telling Thomas to write. Okay? Yahusha said, blessed are the solitary and elect. For those of you who are living isolated and you are an elect, a Hebrew Israelite, this is what he's saying to us. For you will find the kingdom, for you are from it, and to it you will return. Very encouraging to me, family. Very encouraging to me. And I know I'm not the only one. Praise Yah for his mighty, mighty words. And from the Coptic Gospel of Thomas, I'll be moving on to the book of Jasher. The book of Jasher in here. I'll be reading Jasher chapter 3, verse 17 to 38. And this is entitled, Your Solitary Life is from Yah. And this is a little bit of what Enoch was going through before the flood. Now, the earth was full of wickedness because those giants were still in the earth. And these are some of the things that our father Yahuwah was telling Enoch before he took him. Okay, I'll be starting in the book of Jasher, chapter 3, verse 17 to 38. And it says, and it was in the year of Adam's death, which was the 243rd year of the reign of Enoch. At that time, Enoch resolved to separate himself from the sons of men and to hide himself, as at first, in order to serve the Adonai. And Enoch did so, but did not entirely hide himself from them, but kept away from the sons of men 3 days, and then went to them for 1 day. And during the 3 days that he was in his chamber, he prayed to and praised the Adonai, his Elohim. And the day on which he went and appealed to his subjects, he taught them the ways of the Adonai. You see what it's saying here? During those days that Enoch was not teaching men the words of the Adonai, he was communicating with the Elohim. So when we are isolated and we are solitary in our lives like this, Yah has caused this solitary life for us. So don't think, thoughts like, it's boring, I don't have nothing to do. This is the time to get close to the Father. This is the time to get in your word and get close to him. And sometimes he'll wake us up like at the third watch of the night, which is 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 a.m. So don't just lay there or keep trying to go back to sleep. No, this is the time Yah wants you to communicate with him. That's why he woke you up. That's why he wakes us up in the wee hours of the night like that, like 3 o'clock in the morning. It happens a lot. This is the time to start praying and asking the Ruach what it is that he wants you to do or what she wants you to do. And after you pray, it's good to get into the word. I had to discipline myself and stop trying to stay up till 10:30 and 11:30 because I wake up at 4 in the morning. I usually stretch for a half hour on my mat on the floor. So instead of trying to stay up to 10:30, 11 o'clock, unless it's the weekend, I be like feed myself from other people who serving the word on YouTube, and I'll be in my word also. I don't just watch other people's videos. I be in my word. I got all these books. So, it's from Yah that I have them. So I need to feed myself his word so I can share it with his sheep. And so instead of staying up real late, I like shut it down like 8:30, 9 o'clock sometimes. And then I'll sleep till like after like midnight or something, wake up like I always do, never sleep clean through the night, and I'll get back in my word so I can feed myself the word of Yah so I can have something to share with the sheep. Okay, it's all to glorify the Yah and edify the body. Okay, and all they asked him about the Adonai, he told them, and he did in this manner for many years. And afterward, he concealed himself for 6 days and appeared to his people one day in seven. And after that, once in a month. He was spending less time with people, but this was from the Adonai. This was from our Messiah, that he was allowing Enoch to spend less and less time with people because he was going to take him away before the flood. Okay, so when we find ourselves in a solitary life, isolated, that's the time to get in your word and get close to the Father. Okay, as it says, study to show thyself approved. Okay, and then once in a year. Okay, and then until all the kings, princes, and sons of men sought for him and desired to see the face of Enoch again and to hear his word, but they could not, as all the sons of men were greatly afraid of Enoch, and they feared to approach him on account of the godlike awe that was seated on his countenance, his face. Therefore, no man could look at him, fearing he might be punished and die. And all the kings and princes resolved to assemble the sons of men and to come to Enoch, thinking that they might all speak to him at the time when he should come out among them. And they did so. And the day came when Enoch went out, and they all assembled and came to him. And Enoch spoke to them the words of the Adonai, and he taught them wisdom and knowledge. And they bowed down before him, and they said, May the king live, may the king live. And sometime after, when the kings and princes and the sons of men were speaking to Enoch, and Enoch was teaching them the ways of Elohim, behold, a messenger of the Adonai then called to Enoch from heaven, and wished to bring him up to heaven to make him reign there over the sons of Elohim, as he had reigned over the sons of men on earth. When at that time Enoch heard this, he went and assembled all the inhabitants of the earth and taught them wisdom and knowledge and gave them divine instructions. And he said to them, I have been required to ascend into heaven. Therefore, I do not know the day of my going. And now, therefore, I will teach you wisdom and knowledge, and I will give you instruction before I leave, how to act on earth whereby you may live. And he did so. And he taught them wisdom and knowledge and gave them instruction, and he reproved them, and he placed before them statutes and judgments to do on earth, and he made peace among them, and he taught them continuous life, and dwelt with them sometime, teaching them all these things. And at that time the sons of men were with Enoch, and Enoch was speaking to them, and they lifted up their eyes, and the likeness of a great horse descended from heaven. And the horse paced in the air. And they told Enoch what they had seen. And Enoch said to them, This horse descends on earth on my account. The time has come when I must go from you, and I will no longer be seen by you. And the horse descended at that time and stood before Enoch, and all the sons of men that were with Enoch saw him. And Enoch then again ordered a voice to be proclaimed, saying, Where is the man who delights to know the ways of the Adonai, our Elohim? Let him come this day to Enoch before he is taken from us. And all the sons of men assembled and came to Enoch that day, and all the kings of the earth with their princes and counselors remained with him that day. And Enoch taught the sons of men wisdom and knowledge, and gave them divine instruction, and he commanded them to serve the Adonai and walk in his ways all the days of their lives. And he continued to make peace among them. And it was after this that he rose up and rode on the horse, and he went out, and all the sons of men went after him about 800,000 men. Can you imagine all those people following Enoch because they want to hear more of the word of their Adonai? They getting fed their spiritual meat. And they went with him one day's journey. And the second day he said to them, return home to your tents. Why will you go? Perhaps you may die. And some of them went from him, and those that remained went with him 6 days' journey. And Enoch said to them every day, return to your tents, lest you may die. But they went not willing, but they were not willing to return, and they went with him. And on the 6th day, some of the men remained and clung to him, and they said to him, we will go with you to the place where you go. As the Adonai lives, only death will separate us. And they urged so much to go with him that he ceased speaking to them, and they went after him and would not return. And when the kings returned, they caused the census to be taken in order to know the number of the remaining men that went with Enoch. And it was on the 7th day that Enoch ascended into heaven in a whirlwind with horses and chariots of fire. And on the 8th day, all the kings that had been with Enoch sent to bring back the number of men that were with Enoch in that place from which he ascended into heaven. And all those kings went to the place, and they found the earth filled with snow there, and on the snow were large stones of snow. And one said to another, come, let us break through the snow and see perhaps the men that remain with Enoch are dead and are now under the stones of snow. And they searched but could not find him, for he had ascended into heaven. So what it is saying here, it was, Elohim's way with the man of Elohim, Enoch, that he, before he eventually took him, up to heaven to live, he caused him to be around people less and less. Up here to saying, okay, like, he would be with them, let me see, 3 days out of a week and then spend 4 days with them or something like that. Okay. And he did in manner for many years. And afterwards, he considered himself 6 days and appeared to his people 1 day in 7. So he started coming around to people less and less because Yah was going to take him up to heaven. So I'm saying this solitary life that we live, it is from Yah. It says we live solitary lives and we are elect, after it is all over, we go back to him. That's what it says in the Coptic Gospel of Thomas, chapter 1, verse 49. Very encouraging, So your isolation, your solitary life that you may be living, family, is from Yah. It is from Yah. So I just want to share that encouraging news. You're not doing anything wrong by being off by yourself. Now, I have something to say later on in this message about those who are living solitary lives who might have marriage on their mind. Okay? And matter of fact, that's coming up right now. I'll be going over to the book of, that's in 1 Corinthians. So right now, I'll be going back to the 66 in the book of Peter, 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. If you live in a solitary life, and you're in isolation, think on these things. Families, 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. And it says, casting all your cares upon him, for he cares for you. Cast all your cares on him, for he cares for you. You might be alone physically. You might be isolated physically. You might be living solitary physically. But the Adonai is with you spiritually. And that's even more than somebody being with you physically. Cast all your cares upon him, for he cares for you. I mean, just encouraging words for the Yah sheep, for those of us who are living solitary lives. Our solitary life is from Yah. Just read it, but there's more to go. Okay, I'll be going over to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6. Deuteronomy 31, verse 6. Wherever you go, family, think of these things. Deuteronomy 31, verse 6. Be strong and of a good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them wherever you go. For the Adonai, thy Elohim, he it is that doeth good with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake us. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. So wherever you go in life, family, please keep these words in your mind. If you live in a solitary life, see, when people got somebody, they don't never really have to be alone. And that's one of my work, if your spouse at work or something like that. But those of us who live in solitary lives, our solitary lives are from Yah. Be strong and of a good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. For the Adonai, the Elohim, he it is that doeth good with thee. He will not fail thee nor forsake thee. And I had to think back a while back, how did I get to this point? Because when I was in Sunday churches and stuff, there was always stuff to do, and I was always around a lot of people and stuff. But Yah took me away from all that, and I ended up living a solitary life. And I had to look back, like, see, the word of Yah says, "In a man's heart he plans his way, but the Adonai orders your steps." It says, "The footsteps of the righteous are ordered of the Lord." See, wherever you go, the Most High is ordering your steps. He's ordering your steps. He's ordering our steps. So wherever we end up, if you belong to Yah and you are the righteous in a man's heart or a woman's heart, you plan your way. But it is the Adonai that determines your steps. The footsteps of the righteous are ordered of the Lord. The footsteps of the righteous are ordered of the Adonai. So we think we be in control of everything, but he is the one that's controlling where we go or where we end up. Okay? That's just the way it is. We keep ourselves out of sin and breaking man's laws, and we won't have to end up in jail. We won't have to end up in prison. You know what I'm saying? If you end up in a situation like that where you're in solitary confinement, you there because you did something wrong. You're there because you did something wrong, but still, you're still alive. You still can repent of your sins in prison. You can give your life to the Father in prison and show him that you mean it from your heart and start living for him while you're incarcerated. It can be done. Okay? But I'm talking about people who you're not in trouble with the law, and your life is in Yah. He is the one ordering our steps. He is the one that caused us to be isolated and living solitary lives. It's all his doing. He'll weed people out of your life, he'll weed people out, and you'll end up being solitary. And that's the time when you find yourself like that. That's the time to get in his word. Get in his word. I don't know why this thing is getting so blurry. I hope it adjusts itself. It's coming back, I think. Okay, just let me continue. Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. Joshua chapter 1, verse 9, it says this. If you're solitary and living a solitary life, okay, you're isolated all the time. Your life is in Yah and you're elect. Okay, think of these things. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Adonai thy Elohim is with thee, wheresoever thou goest. Wherever we go, he's with us. Wherever we go, he is with us. Okay, now I'll be going over to the book of Psalms again. Psalms chapter 27, verse 1 to 6. Psalm 27, 1 to 6. Psalm 27, 1 to 6. Okay. If you're living a solitary life, it is from Yah. Think on these things. Family, the word of Yah gets you through any situation. The Adonai is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Adonai is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even my enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat upon my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Though a host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war shall rise against me, and this will I be confident. One thing have I desired of the Adonai, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Adonai all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Adonai, and to inquire in his temple. For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me upon a rock, and now shall my head be lifted up above my enemies round about me. Therefore will I offer in his tabernacles sacrifices of joy. I will sing, yea, I will sing praises unto the Adonai. Praise ye the Adonai. Okay, now over to Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. And it says here, and the Adonai Elohim said, it is not good for the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet. Okay, I will make an helpmeet for him. So some of us who are living isolated and solitary lives, it's wrong. It's not wrong to have thoughts that you might want to be married someday. It's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with that at all. The scripture says, and the Adonai Elohim said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet. Okay? A helpmeet for him. So it is not wrong if you have thoughts that you want to be married, that you may not want to be living a solitary life by yourself. That's a-okay. Okay, so I'm just going to do a couple of scriptures out of the First Corinthians, but I would suggest that if anybody who watched this video and you never been married before, and you might have thoughts of being married, I would suggest that you read the whole chapter of First Corinthians chapter 7. The whole thing is about marriage, being single, people who seek in marriage. Read the whole chapter. I'm just going to read a few verses. Okay, First Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1 to 2 first. Now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Okay, from 6 to 11, it says, but I speak this by permission and not of commandment. This is Paul talking here. For I would that all men would, even as I myself. He was by himself. Okay, but every man hath his proper gift of Elohim. One after this manner, and another after that. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. And unto the married, I command, yet not I, but the Adonai, let not the wife depart from her husband. But, and if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband, and let not the husband put away his wife. Okay, verse 27 and 28 says, art thou bound unto a wife? Question. Seek not to be loosed. Art thou loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife. But, and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she hath not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh. But I spare you. Okay, verse 31 and 30 to 34. 4, verse 31 to 34. Okay, and it says, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. But I would have you without carefulness, he that is unmarried cared for the things that belong to the Adonai, how he may please the Adonai. But he that is married cared for the things that are in the world, how he may please his wife. There is difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman cared for the things of the Adonai, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit. But she that is married cared for the things of the world, how she may please her husband. Take your pick. If you want a more in-depth look about this conversation and this advice on marriage, I would ask you to, I advise you to read 1 Corinthians chapter 7, the whole chapter. That's what it's about. Okay, moving right along to John chapter 14. I got one more after this. John chapter 14, verse 18. If you live in a solitary life, it is from Yah that you are. Think on these things. Okay, John chapter 14, verse 18. And it says this: I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you. These are encouraging words for people who are always solitary and off by themselves. This is our Messiah saying this: I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you. Like I say, besides social media, we may not be together physically, but we're together spiritually. The word of Yah says, forsake not the assembling of yourselves together. So we may not be together physically because we're in different parts of the country and of the world, but we come together spiritually with the word of Yah. So we are still coming together via social media. Okay? The word says in the book of Daniel, in the end times, knowledge shall increase. So we have the ability to come together and share the word of Yah and be fed by the word of Yah. Okay? Praise Yah. Looks like I missed one. Let me see. Okay, if you live in a solitary life, it is from Yah. Think on these things. Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. I think I missed that one there. Okay, fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy Elohim. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. If you live in a solitary life, it is from Yah. Think on these things. Think on the word of Yah. The best thing to do if you live in a solitary life, get into the word of Yah as often as you can. That will help you to become strong spiritually. And the word of Yah says, the harvest is plenty, but the workers are few. So Yah wants more people teaching other people his word. Don't add nothing to it. Don't take nothing away. But there's more than just the 66. You read in 2nd Esdras chapter 14, it says that Yah told Esdras, the priest, prophet, to talk to these 5 other wise men who were Israelites, Hebrews, to write 204 other books, and they did it in 40 days. So there's other books out there. And in the end times, Yah is making it possible for those who are designated to teach the wisdom of his word. They are available. So here a little, there a little, line upon line, verse upon verse, precept upon precept. So it's not just talking about the Bible, it's talking about all the books, and there are plenty of books out there. But they all coincide with this, but a lot of them are more in detail than the Bible, okay? Okay, so in closing, I'll be in the book of Romans, chapter 8. Romans, chapter 8, verse 38 and 39. And it says this: For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Elohim, which is in our Messiah, our Adonai. And don't voluntarily leave him on your own. You know, if you don't do that, nothing can take us from him. Nothing. I'm going to read it again. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Elohim, which is in our Messiah, the Adonai. So praise Yah for his encouraging words. For all of us who are living solitary lives, it is from Yah. And when our life is over, if you are an elect, we will go back to where we belong with him. I hope you got some understanding in Yah's name. So until next time, may Yah bless you and your families. Stay safe and shalom. I'm Brother Judah Israel. See you next time. And I already know what the message is going to be for the Sabbath. I'm going to dissect Acts chapter 29 out of the Sefer Bible. It's not in the King James Version. I don't think any other version that I've ever had, but this is the only version I'll use besides this and these other books that I ordered with many other books in them. So they took the Acts chapter 29 is not in here. I never knew that it was an Acts 29. So I was this guy that I follow, Big Judah, and he was sharing it. And I was like, oh, I ordered mine, some months ago. And I get to looking back. Oh, I got Acts 29 and I read it and it is really, really interesting. I see why they hid it. So I'm going to dissect this Acts 29 out of here, out of the Sefer Bible come Sabbath, unless the Ruach lead me in another direction. But if not, that's what I'll be feeding the sheep with, what's in the book of Acts chapter 29. Okay, so as always, until next time, may Yah bless you. Shalom.